Junge, willst du mich umbringen, aber so, mir fallen die Ohren ab.
Special cars, rare bikes and airplanes. This is what drives me. I'm Philip and I'm the Driven Aviator. Welcome to my channel. Hi guys, welcome back to Driven Aviator channel. Today I tell you why this Ferrari F355 is the V8 Ferrari of all times. And I tell you what this has to do with the Ferrari F50. And I tell you how I bought this car in a 2,000 kilometer road trip and nearly lost it and totaled this car. So see you later. Ferrari F355, one of many Ferrari V8 mid-engine models, and in my opinion, the absolutely cream de la cream of the Ferrari models, especially the mid-engine models. Why is that? Its predecessor, the Ferrari 348, wasn't that successful. Of the opinion of many other people, it was a lame car, it was not overwhelming, not emotional enough. It was kind of slow, even for that time. The president of Ferrari was very ambitious to have a better, faster, and much more emotional car. And the result of that is the F355. It has a F1 derived V8 engine, completely new developed. It has 5 valves per cylinder and 3.5 liters of capacity, so that makes its name F355. Well, what else can I tell you about this car? It was extremely highly developed for the time it came out. Car launched in 1994. It has special features such a very lightweight aluminum frame, active suspension. I mean, it was one of the first cars having active suspension on board. I really love this feature. Let's have a look here. It's down there. And what else can you see here? You see one of the 2 gearbox options this car was offered with. The first one launched a little bit later in 1997. It was the F1 gearbox, a sequential gearbox with the automated clutch, one of the first versions of those kind of gearboxes. It was okay, but no comparison to modern dual clutch transmissions. But the most important thing is this one, and this is the gated manual shifter. And I mean, can you hear that? There's no transmission like that. This is oh my god, this is so good. Every time, again and again. This is one of the best shifting experience you can ever have. Awesome, really incredible. Let me tell you guys a little story how it came that I'm sitting in this F355. So as I told you, it launched in 1994. I was 7 years old at that time, and to be honest, it was one of my favorite dream cars, favorite dream supercars. I had posters, I had magazines with this car, and there's one particular thing that's even more important. Some of you may remember the Japanese gaming company Sega launched a Ferrari F355 simulator, and it was the first simulator that I remember that had 3 screens and a manual gated shifter and a clutch pedal. This thing was incredible. I was spending my whole pocket money nearly every day to sit in this thing and driving the F355 challenge. Drive tracks like Suzuka, Monza, and all those famous F1 racetracks, because I think during that time the F55 challenge was part of the Formula 1 series. So awesome. I played a lot, and later on Sega launched the Dreamcast console, so you were able to play that game at home, and it really changed my life and how I thought about Ferraris. Since that time, I was really in love with the Ferrari. And there's another car from the Ferrari lineup I really liked, and it was the Ferrari F50 GT. During later times, when I had a Xbox, the video game Forza Motorsport came out. My favorite car in this game actually was the Ferrari F50 GT. Yes, it had this nice Momo steering wheel, perfect red with black wheels, gated manual shifter. So that was how I imagined would be my dream Ferrari. To be honest, I have not enough money to buy an F50, at least not yet. So I came up with the idea to buy an F355, and here we are. This is the F355. So let me tell you guys a little story about this exact car and how I got it. The former owner of this car was a really famous Swedish race driver. It had a higher mileage, but I was pretty sure the car was used the way it was built for. So that was one of the reasons why I liked the story to it was a proper race driver. The car was in Sweden, and we picked it up in a nearly crazy 2,000 kilometers road trip I made with a friend of mine. We started like very spontaneously and got there overnight. It was near Göteborg, and picked up the car, and we had some special incidents happening during that road trip. The first one was in Denmark. The weather was not too good, to be honest, so there were thunderstorms and squall lines and all that stuff, and I was driving very carefully because the car was equipped with, I think it was 15 years old summer tires. They were more like wood than like rubber. So I was really careful. I was driving slowly at 100 kilometers per hour. Thought this would save me. And then all of a sudden, there was so much water on the road that the car began oversteering, and it took me 8 times from left to right to get this car back on track. It took me 3 lanes, so everyone around was like watching for the impact and just watching for the crash, and luckily I saved it, but this was a horrible moment because I thought I would lose this car, and well, I had a kind of high blood pressure afterwards. So this was crazy. And a few hours later, when we were for refueling in Germany already, we came out at the gas station, and it had some distinct kind of smell, which you can only smell when there is oil burning. And the problem was, from the drive shaft axle, there's some rubbers around. To be honest, I don't know the English terms of this, but some of the oil came out and ended up on the exhaust system, especially on the very hot catalytic converters, and started to burn. So the car was nearly starting to catch fire. This was another very special moment during our 2,000 kilometer road trip. So end of story, we made it. The car safely was brought back home, or to its new home, and yeah, here we are. It's driving better than ever. All problems are fixed, and the car has some new tires, which I'm really happy about, and that's it. For those of you who might be interested how this car is driving, how it feels. At first, this is a motorsports derived nearly race car, and you can feel it really. It drives extremely stiff, extremely responsive. For that time, it has an awesome chassis and suspension. It's still kind of fast. What I really like is the engine has a power output of 380 horsepower. That's not too much, especially compared to today's Ferraris. But this is exactly the right amount of power you need on public roads. It's not too much, it's not too less, it's just perfect. And that's what I like about this car and driving this car. Driving this car nowadays feels like a gym workout. You need a lot of force. The shifter is pretty hard to move. The power steering is not so much power supported, to be honest. The clutch pedal is funky. You really need to push the clutch pedal, the brake. Even the accelerator pedal. You just need some more force than in today's cars, but this makes it so special. And yeah, another fact I really like about it. Let me also tell you some words why these kind of cars are not built anymore. One of the reasons is down there. It's the open manual gated shifter. Another reason is there. It's a naturally aspirated engine and a rear wheel drive. No electronic stability program. Today's cars, we live in an area with extremely hyper fast cars. There's no doubt about it. There are so many extremely fast cars, but it's not about speed. All those cars are soulless. All modern cars are absolutely soulless, or at least 99% of them. And this is the complete opposite. This is a driver's car. This is a car that drives you instead of you driving it. And this is a car you can feel. This is a car that has a soul. This is a car that lives. And a car with lots of emotions. And this is what driving sports cars is all about. It's not about speed or any acceleration or any other technical figures. To be honest, I'm not interested in that shit. I'm interested in how a car feels and if it makes me happy. And this car makes me extremely happy. And this is the reason why the F355 is one of the best Ferraris ever built. So at the time when I started researching the perfect Ferrari for me, it was very clear I wanted a red car because no other color fits my requirements. I wanted to have the Cube. You may know there's also a Spider and a GTS version, which is a Targa, but only the Cube has this beautiful silhouette you can see here. So it had to be red, it had to be Cube, and it had to have, of course, it had to have the manual gearbox, the open gated shifter. There was not too much to do in terms of modification, so obviously I spent the car the Ferrari Magnesium Forged Challenge wheels. It got the black Challenge grille. I spent it a proper exhaust system because you need to hear this very distinct F1 sound of this car. And it got the perfect Momo steering wheel. And so you have the perfect Ferrari F355. No need to do anything more. This is how it should be, in my opinion. Guys, look at that. When you buy a Ferrari, at least in the 90s, you don't just get a Ferrari, you get a unique piece of tools. What do you think? Unfortunately, you can't smell it, but this is such a good quality old leather. I like it. So this is from a time when men were able to fix their cars on the street and don't just call their service manager or whatever. Have a look. You could change the light bulbs, change some belts. I'm not sure if this is enough for a gearbox exchange or engine exchange, but it's much more than today's people would use when their car breaks down. I hope you guys liked our little time travel into the 90s with this beautiful Ferrari, and I'm looking forward to your opinion. See you soon on Driven Aviator. Please leave a like, maybe subscribe into the channel, and thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.
clouds. Fly so high, shout it loud.